So this video has a little something for everyone, for those who value my insight, and for those who value my sources and facts, and for those who value all the above. This video is about hypergamy and psychology, the pseudoscience, where they're right and where they're wrong, and how it's a pseudoscience based on theories, and they are wrong about a great many things. So first, let me start with a definition of hypergamy. It's evolutionary psychology's theory of the female's gender's instinct to marry or date rich people or people in a higher caste than themselves. An instinct is defined as an innate, typically fixed pattern of behavior in animals in response to certain stimuli, for those of you who don't truly grasp the concept. Gold digger as defined by Wikipedia. Gold digger is a person, usually female, who cultivates a personal relationship in order to obtain money. Gold digger, gold diggers, or gold diggers may refer to, and it goes off. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that last part. Anyway, so we go on. As you can see, hypergamy and gold digger is almost the same. The difference is evolutionary psychology claims that it's an instinct. It's part of their genetic makeup, if you will. Part of how they've evolved to be instinctually, part of how, your DNA has evolved to be and to create certain behaviors. I disagree. I believe it's nurture, not nature. But first, before I give you my insights, let me give you the source, those of you value sources. psychnet.apa.org/journal/SJP, etc., etc. American Psychological Association. Research has found for long-term dating, women value men with greater financial resources and higher status, while for short-term dating, they value men with greater physical attractiveness. However, there are discrepant results for both long and short-term dating, as most of the previous studies use only questionnaires. We conducted a field experiment to evaluate women's receptivity to men's dates requests. Young male Confederates who ostensibly had high, middle, or low incomes, depending on experimental condition, asked young women walking down the street for their phone number. We found that men's financial resources were positively associated with compliance with their request. Evolutionary theory proposing that women select men with greater resources for them and their offspring is used to explain the results. Okay, they give you a reference: men's social status and attractiveness, women's receptivity to men's date requests. Guggen, Nicholas, Lamy, Lebonmer, Swiss Journal of Psychology, Volume 7, July 12th, 2012. So, automatically, they assumed that evolutionary theory proposing that women select blah, 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 the evolutionary theory was to explain this. You have to realize psychology will do a study, which is not exactly conclusive proof, and they'll pick a theory and say, oh, this explains it, so this must be true. Completely faulty, not the scientific method at all, a pseudoscience based on theories, like I said before. Basically, I agree with the study, actually, but I'm saying the study is not proof, but I personally find it to be the case. I personally think that they did a good job with it, and that it does bring a lot of credence to the idea that hypergamy exists and that women are gold diggers in general. I blame feminism and the media and the top 1% who want women to be like this, who create the cultures. Countless studies, you can just Google that. Studies show that Ivy League schools and the super rich determine our culture. It's quite common knowledge. So I blame the nurture of it, and women's own parents, asking people when you bring someone home, so what do you do? That's part of our culture, is to ask people, so what do you do? Why is it part of our culture? Why do we give a shit what they do so much to where we ask them almost immediately? Because it's a materialistic culture, an individualistic culture. So, well, you got to ask yourself, are we to respect women as much as men if we know that they're gold diggers, whether it's instinctually or whether it's nurture that causes them to behave this way? Do we ask what causes a rapist to behave this way? I mean, we might ask, but does it really matter when it comes to judging them as a group? Or do we look down on them as a group? Do we look down on pedophiles as a group? Or do we say, is it their instincts? Is it their nurture? Do we really care when it comes to whether or not we respect them? Okay, this is my thing. Respect is earned. As a top martial artist in California, I deserve respect. As someone who put my life on the line to do the right thing, I deserve respect. As someone who took an oath of celibacy and not to kiss, hold, and date women, etc., etc., I deserve respect. And I fulfilled that oath, and I deserve respect for it. But as a gold-digging gender, do women deserve respect? Now, I'm not somebody who is mad at women because I've dated over 30 women in my life, okay? Never had a problem. I could go out and get a woman today and have sex if I wanted to, okay? It's never been that huge of a problem. I just couldn't find my equal, but that's a story for another day, okay? What I'm doing is I'm analyzing society's problems, and one of them is women's attitude and behavior. Anybody who doesn't see it that way has serious, serious issues. I mean, even if you don't believe that gold digging is wrong, you have to admit that women make up part of society, and they're part of what's wrong with society, no matter how you look at it. I just looked at it, with a magnifying glass. Anyway, so this is why the MGTOWs are right to go their own way. The problem is it's what homosexuals and feminists want. They want men to go their own way. It's what super rich people want. Yeah, let the poor men go their own way and save the women for us even more. Because rich men aren't going to go their own way. The society works in their favor. They're just going to play the game. It's also why, personally, I was right to make my oath. If this is what psychology studies have shown us, if this is what we see ourselves, if this is what tends to be the common perception and conception of how women are, and every time there's a study about it, it proves it right, and every time we look ourselves, we're proven right, should we be dating them in the first place? Should our sexual desire, come before everything else? Should we love women like this for being like this? Should we allow ourselves to love women for being like this? Should we reward women for being like this? No. I don't know how many no's there were. I'm kind of lost track of my questions, but something like that, no to each question. So, don't expect me, to want to be under the leadership of a woman when this is how they are, And don't expect me to respect women when this is how they are. Don't expect me to take any of my videos about women down when this is how they are. And when feminism empowers women, what do? They empower this. Okay? Let's give a bunch of gold diggers, equal say to men in politics, Let's give them equal positions, Let's make the Senate half gold diggers, half men. And since there's more women than men, let's make the Congress more gold diggers and less men. I mean, don't you see that no matter how you look at it, don't you see how it is wrong to make women leaders when you study women and they are less moral than men? They are more materialistic than men. They care about superficial things such as how they look more than men. Are we to live in a society where everything is politically correct and a facade but not morally correct? I mean, you really got to ask yourselves, if women don't change their behavior of hypergamy, why should we date them? Why should we vote them into office? Why should we respect them? Really, I really want to know. I want to know from women, why should we respect you? Why should we respect hypergamy? Why is hypergamy okay? I really want to know. Why isn't $30,000 a year enough? Why does it have to be $200,000, $300,000 a year? Why shouldn't a man just be able to support you? Why does he have to have a whole lot of money? Why should We respect you. Why should we vote you into office? Why should we date you? Thank you.